Yo, and we're live again. Welcome back to another Sentai wrap-up as we review Zenkaiger. I'm Henshin, going through all of the awesome stuff that is Zenkaiger and Super Sentai.
Yeah,
And with me always is my good friend Airlim.
huzzah! We are watching Zenkaiger and talking about the beautiful, beautiful thing of Sentai.
Okay, so today we're reviewing episode 10, which has quite a nice sort of like, it doesn't have anything really truly to debut, but it does have nice story elements to it, and we'll dive into the whole thing as we go along here. So,
Yes.
as we probably already know, this is generally a sort of episode where we get to see more of the pirates, but it also has it kind of highlights the difference between the goals of the Zenkaigers compared to the goal of the pirate clan with two Kaiser. Um,
Mm.
Obviously, the monster of the day is to do with the sun and trying to affect the earth. But yeah, primarily it is a focus on those kind of goals. So, what did you think about the particular information that was given to us about our characters in this one, Erilyn?
Kind of liked it. You had a lot of like a little bit of backstory, so you know that the pirates aren't just going to be massive dicks all the way through. They actually have a reason for being there,
Yeah,
which was generically as soon as you saw like, oh, here are my brothers. You're like, a, are they calling them brothers because of like that sort of Japanese theme that they do? Like, we're not really brothers, but we'll treat you like brothers. Or brothers got turned into stuff, so we know we've seen that.
yeah,
So I kind of like the fact that we now have a reason why they're doing it.
yeah.
But also, I don't know if you got this. Now, I watched this a
Oh,
while
yeah.
ago, but with Flint, when Kaito gets onto the ship, she's biting her lip, and I genuinely thought, oh, maybe she likes a bit of Kaito. And then at the very end, you see in the preview that she's with him. I'm like, oh, maybe it's a cheeky date. Oh, who knows? So that's what I kind of got. And then I watched the sub version. I was like, oh, I'm completely wrong on this one. Oh well.
But no, yeah, I think you're right. I initially thought through the previous episodes that when they first found Ricky and Katana, that it was during their invasion of the base for the Tojino, the for for the
The
bad
base.
guys.
Bad, bad guy base. Bad
Yeah,
guy base.
bad guy base. Yeah, sorry, I gotta remember that word because I know I've said it multiple times, and it always comes up. Uh, Toji Tendo, that's it. There we go. So yeah, well, obviously the Kikanoi world, that's where they're generally attacking, and that. But yeah, I honestly thought Ricky and Katana during the first onslaught, they were actually part of that. I had no
Mm,
idea that they were going to debut such information about what they actually are, and that they actually are brothers in a sense. So
yeah.
yeah, quite a good, interesting revelation in this episode. But yeah, what did you think of the general combat and the aesthetics and even some of the scenes? Because we didn't have that much CGI involved in this one either.
No, like I think the only CGI you see is basically Ricky and Katana.
You're right.
Only because I really wish it's so really off-putting. It's like someone forgot to put them in, so they just basically Photoshop them into the episode, and it's just really off-putting. Since I mean, you've got the models. I mean, some of the, like if we're talking about fight scenes, it was generally a really nice basic like fight thing.
Yeah.
Like at the very beginning, I like the whole like, as it where you see two guys that just not care, and they say it's like I don't care, and you saw it when it's like the guy goes me, you're shooting at me, and it's just like yeah I don't care, and I kind of like that. I think that's a nice aesthetic. That's what Marvelous should have been.
Yeah, I do think you're right about that. It was kind of showcasing the characters and trying to highlight them and the differences a lot more. But yeah, that first beginning scene when um, Socks just just happened to see the uh, Kikanoid of the day and
Mm.
just like shot at him just out of because he's there. It's what he's after, so why not?
Yeah, I see. I like that sort of thing because it's just so different. It's more would be what I would see other like Sixth Rangers or people like Vox just going, hey, I'm gonna shoot down. So rather than wait, he's more of a I'm gonna go get it, rather than the others be like, oh, he's up there, what are we gonna do? It's like, oh, I'm gonna shoot you. Bye.
Yeah. I would like to know what other people thought of this episode because, most of the other previous episodes have either been debuts or like really significant fights. We've only had like really a few episodes that are actually story orientated, and now we're all in like, what could be described as like a milestone because it's the 10th episode. It feels like we're already like either a quarter or a fifth into
Mm.
the show now. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the actual mecha and stuff for Two Kaiser is. I mean, obviously we're seeing it because of the toys and stuff, but it's just that with the actual vehicle in the show, it's like obviously dominating, and you see it in the opening sequence.
Mm.
So seeing it in action is going to be something I'm looking forward to most, especially since it works with Ricky and Katana as well, as we found out.
Is it actually in the intro?
Yes, it
Like,
is. You sort of see it a bit, and you see Katana and Ricky riding the vehicle forms with Ricky on the motorbike form and Katana on the aerial vehicle of it. So you know
huh.
how it could separate into two, and then they attach their weapons onto it. You see that in the intro.
Yeah, let me have a look.
But yeah,
Huh.
you know, and I think you do actually see a bit of the actual mechas as well, both the
Mm.
Oran mode and the Shinken mode of it. So you
Huh.
do see Tukayo in the intro, but obviously is yet to actually debut. So yeah,
Yeah.
one of those
So
things you kind of miss if you're not looking for it.
yeah, like I watched the intro, and obviously I know that they changed it because he's in it. So I was just like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I just didn't realize. Like, I've not unless I've completely forgotten about it.
Yeah,
I'm just going, eh. But I know, like, because obviously the toys are out next month. So I reckon it'll be very, very soon. Like, maybe not next episode, maybe episode after.
yeah,
Where it'll be something like you'll get a monster that'll be like, oh, you can't transform into thingy. Kikinoids can't transform. And
yeah,
it's like, well, we've not got Kikinoid, so let's bring it
yeah,
in.
yeah. Yeah, do like. I'm glad that they still have like that ongoing sort of like theme where they're representing mechas of previous seasons still.
Mm,
Um, Once again, though, I'm hoping there's going to be more of it because the only Kikinoids that actually are significantly, you know, sorry, the only mechas that are significantly represented are the ones that are actually rangers, and then you've got those two little versions that go with two Kaiser, which I imagine
mm,
is the primary reason for his name because he's not the second Zenkaiger. It's more like he's the Zenkai Ranger of two particular themes along with his own. So, like, it kind of seems like he switches. That's what it
yeah.
seems more like to me. But obviously, that only Japan really knows the naming for a reason.
uh,
Only they will
I've
truly
just,
know.
yeah.
Um,
I've just seen it. I was like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't realize it was in the intro.
yeah. So move on to the debuting because that's the most important part about this particular episode is what we've seen, shown for the first time. So here we go with the image that we have of Ricky and Katana in the human form. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first saw these two, I was like, voices don't match.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I see. I think this is the thing that, like, if they brought in like the child actors, like to voice them as well,
Yeah.
but because what's going to happen is at the very end when all the things happen, reunited, and like Ricky and Dingy are brought back, either they dub those voices over or it's going to sound very weird. So yeah, it's you think you'd have just paid them to be like voice actors and say cool, not unless they don't have the right sort of voices or anything like that. But yeah, I thought exactly the same thing. I was like, oh, that's not going to work.
Yeah. But it's like there's not even likeness or anything like that. But yeah, I imagine you're right. It kind of takes me back to, I mean, linking it to Power Rangers, Beast Morphers when you had Steel become his human version. Spoilers for
Yeah.
people who haven't seen that yet. If
Oh
you haven't seen it,
no.
what's wrong with you? Then again, if you're even up to season episode 10 of Zenkaiger, what's wrong with you? This is a good season,
Yeah.
man. But yeah, no, yeah, I think it's curious that they have these likeness, and it does make you wonder if they would have been this active if they were still, kids, because
Mm,
they're holding up people with guns and whatnot, and yet I can't imagine them doing that in their childhood form. Do you agree with that,
yeah.
Erlen?
Yeah, I imagine there'd be the sort of ones like when you see an anime or like TV shows like this, where they'd be like pulling down the whole thing when they do the type thing, and you'd be like, "Oh, you crazy kids," and it would
Yeah,
just get really annoying. Also, when they turn around and say how they got transformed, like SD world, I was like, "All right,
yeah,
now you guys are completely just like what we got around the office. Got plastic world, remote world, dice world, wallet world."
yeah.
I just,
I think it's great though how Rune sort of actually tells us what they mean by SD-topia.
mm,
Because yeah, it's what was it like? Something to do with like being warped, wasn't it? I have
yeah,
to look into that.
they warp them to be something completely different. So we have to go to SB-topia again and find a way to undo the curse. So I reckon it'll be something like if we don't normally do this, but since you saved our world, well, there we go.
Yeah,
Uh, Yeah, I think it's going to be a big, massive battle at the end, and then they'll be like, "Oh my God, you've done it!" Like, your
yeah.
kids are back to normal. He loses power. Saying,
Yeah.
to Kaiser can't transform into the O Ranger and Shinken form. Well, that's part of the curse.
But yeah, no, it's quite interesting that they have this story element to it, like the purpose for these people for being part of this particular fight is so they can turn their brothers back to normal. It's the only reason why they're after the Toja Gears in the first place. I thought that was quite a significant breakthrough for all of them, really.
I think so as well. I think it's showing that again. You have this is what the heroes are fighting for. They don't care about anyone else. They just care about getting their brothers back, and I think that's the main thing. Which I
Yeah.
think is absolutely fine. To be fair, is it's something that you would do if you like your loved ones are in trouble. You'd be like, frick it, I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I remembered exactly what SD stands for because I didn't specifically search that up just now in the episode.
Is it standard definition?
No, it's Oh Christ, my memory's gone again. You know when you just do look into something and then you hold on to the memory so tightly it just escapes you?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens to me. There we go. I may do that weird search thing when I'm looking into it again.
Mm.
There we go. Super deformed. That's
Super
what SD
deformed
stands
love.
for. That is literally what it's called. Super deformed world. That's what they're looking for. That's the exact gear they're looking for because it got captured.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Story Writer.
You know that right at the end because
Yeah.
it'll be like, oh, or maybe they'll jump up and become friends, and then it'll be like near the end, we've got the world. See you later. And then the two brothers would be like, we've got to go back and did all what we can. It's like, oh, fine.
Yeah. They're either going to do it two ways, like you said actually, aren't they? They're
Mm.
either going to be able to, they're either turn back in the end, or they'll be able to turn back some way part through this season and then have the ability to go back if they need to, so they can still form the mecha and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could go either way. It could go either way. Or better yet, they could actually go back to normal, and the two Kaiser will require the other team members in order to make a new combination.
Could be. Could be. I'm also hoping that we see that he can have other powers because I think now he's used up the two tricks he's got. I can do Shinken, I can do O-Ranger form. What else can you do? Nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Great
Right.
fun.
What about the monster of today? I believe it was Midday World.
Day World. I would have called him Noon World. That would
Yeah,
have been
Noon
better.
World. That was the name. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was an interesting character. Again, they all have really cool abilities. They use them. It messes them all up. Because
Yeah.
I would have wholeheartedly gone like, yeah, you're all staying awake. You can't fall asleep. But then I'd be like, well, even if the time is noon, you could just go for a nap.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make much sense, does it?
I think it's just another element of they're so tired. It's like just go space. It's like people in Star Trek. Like they got black outside. They don't go. Well, it's always nighttime. They can go to sleep normally.
Yeah, I think the idea is that in Japanese culture, they're obviously a lot more specific to times and stuff.
Mm.
Like it's important to them to keep to time and you know being able to work when necessary. So even the thought of taking off time to like sleep or even holiday, I think is a bit difficult more culturally
Mm.
for them than most people. So yeah, I think there is a cultural aspect to it, which makes it a little bit more relatable to people in Japan than other countries.
I just gone to sleep in the middle of the street.
Yeah, me too.
I'm so tired. It's like 11 o'clock at night, but it's still midday. I'm
Yeah,
going to
I
bed.
haven't got blackout curtains, so for me this is nothing. This is exactly what they're going through.
Yeah, I'll just sleep it off.
Okay. But yeah, yeah. I thought the fighting sequence was not as great as other episodes in this episode though. Just the way it was, they sort of used combat. Obviously they were highlighting story so much, but yeah, once again it seemed like two Kaiser was the only one generally fighting. The others were just sort of there for backup, weren't they? It's a very two.
Yeah,
Even though it was portraying both of them, it was more of a two Kaiser episode.
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to emphasize. I mean, this could be either down to toy sales,
Yeah,
or the fact is that they need to have like, oh, look at this ranger and stuff. So what you find out in the next one, there'll be more fighting on both sides. But
yeah,
the thing is, I see Kaito. I don't see Kaito as the leader now. I see him as a cheerleader, where he's just like, you
yeah,
go, and he's just cheering on the side. Where if two Kaiser is that he could become the leader, and I think it's a bit on that now. I would
yeah.
hate it if it is.
I think they just sort of position Kaito to be the one that sets the tracks. If the
Mm,
if the whole team was a train, he's the one that sets the tracks, and he's even trying to get two cars to follow those tracks, but he's obviously on his own train. So
mm.
I think that's kind of the best way to describe the aesthetic they sort of have here.
Yeah, I just hope
But
they change it so it's more they're involved. But again, this was shot way before, like during like COVID, so at the very
yeah,
beginning type thing. So I can understand. So hopefully now, have they finished filming yet, or they?
you know what? I have yet to see images that show that the team have finished filming. Usually, what happens when they do finish filming is that you see pictures online pop up of the cast holding flowers that represent the colours that they've
Hmm,
portrayed. So, yeah, I don't know if they actually have finished filming yet. I think it's still too early for them, especially with the COVID period at the moment, because it might
yeah,
affect scheduling a bit. But yeah, I think more closer to August is when we might see them saying they're finally finished, and then
hmm.
obviously a couple of months later we start getting some imagery of the next team that will take over next year. But yeah, so
Sure.
far.
I wonder what gimmick they're going to go for next year.
Oh yeah, it's hard to one up something as big as Zenkaiger though. I mean, even Go Busters was a bit of a compared to what following on from Go Kaiger, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, or that was the marketing for all the toys and stuff went weird. But yeah, it's like how do you want to like the greatest Sentai? It's like, oh, well, we've got no
Yeah,
gimmicks. Um, but it's like, yeah, 'cause it feels really weird because when I was watching this week's episode, I generally thought it was more. We're now literally halfway through the season. It's like, nope, like episode 10, and I'm like,
yeah.
this is going to be a long haul. Oh, because it doesn't. They only have like 1 week break when it hits February, and that's it. So
Yeah. Right, let's move on to the specials then. So, in this particular episode, we saw the debut of the gear of Mega Ranger.
yeah,
What did you think of the powers used in this particular one?
it was just I didn't even see it as a power. Like I
No,
know
yeah.
it was meant to be like, oh, here we are, we're flying about in space type thing or whatever. And I just didn't think it. I just saw it was Duran just throws his sword or shield, and Kaito rode it. There wasn't. I don't think there was anything to it. Um,
Yeah. I think it's a bit of an odd one because it required an item of someone else in order to use the particular power.
mm,
So it makes me wonder if this actually is supposed to represent Mega Ranger, or if it just so happens to require something to make it happen. I'm not entirely sure. It would have been better if they actually had the glider from Mega Ranger appear rather than him using the shield. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's when you start to use this sort of thing, is you have to have more like visual stuff because effectively, I've not seen Mega Ranger, so I knew that they do the Galaxy Gliders or whatever they call them,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I didn't feel like this was a Mega Ranger. I think it was just basically, oh crap, we need to use a gear this week quickly, that one, and then you're like,
yeah,
okay. Like I
yeah,
think even though that like we say with Gokaiger, we saw them turn into it. I would like to see a bit more kind of representation of the Sentai. So maybe it could have been like a giant letterbox type thing that his belt buckle, or more towards it. I don't know. I think it's very very
yeah.
hard.
I think something more to do with technology might have been for Mega Ranger. Obviously, for Power Ranger, it was different for us because Power Rangers in space was more of a space team, whereas Mega Ranger's more electronic, sort of like virtual reality slash, you know, uh, other world kind of gimmick to it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
But yeah,
think
it generally has that.
I think because obviously, yeah, it's video game based and stuff like that. But I think that it could have been the fact that Duran Sword could have like shot out energy beams to kind of represent like maybe the block type thing that he could have jumped onto to fly
Yeah.
about. That would have made it like kind of more sense to me rather than what's he even on. It doesn't.
It's his Uran shield, yeah, to use as a
Yeah,
surfboard. Well,
uh,
as a glider.
yeah, just felt a bit.
Yeah.
Wanted more from it. It was just a letdown.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Right. What did you think of the special ability of to Kaiser? Because he had the ability to tag people, then obviously charge up a finisher which shot, spanned out, and it was basically like hooks going into the parts where he targeted, like seeker missiles. Did you like that special attack?
Yeah, it's a nice one because again, I didn't know what it did when I was watching the sub, but then
Yeah.
obviously, like I thought afterwards, I figured it out. But I really like the fact that he just tags him and it's like boom, boom, boom. Where I'm
Mm.
hoping that this isn't just like a one thing. So even like the ability, it looks like it's a steering wheel, and that I
Yeah.
thought was good. So it just means that maybe in the future he could do multiple ones, so he could get all the bad guys, and it is just a finisher. So it's not like, oh, I can deflect it. It's like, no, it's on my back, so it's gonna come around and hit me in the
Yeah.
back type thing.
I
What did you think
think.
about it?
Oh well, yeah. I think that the actual shot, like, I think my favorite part was just seeing it span out like that, and then going to hit the target. It did seem
Mm.
like a powerful attack, but it was weird how it was not the finisher of the
Yeah,
episode. Like it was more of a special attack, but yeah, it wasn't the thing that caused it. But yeah, it was kind of a nice effect, and I love the anchor effect because that really works well with the pirate theme. But yeah,
mm.
I'm worried that they're not focusing in on the Go Kai theme as much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it seems like Shinkenja and Oranger get a little bit more love than the one that he's supposed to represent.
Mm. I think when you've got that, I think it's meant to be again showy. So it's like it's meant to stick in your mind. Like last week, we saw the fact that he had the Shinkenger finisher. So this time they had to do the O Ranger finisher, which wasn't bad. But again, I think this one, like his ultimate attack, would
Yeah.
have been good. Like I would have liked it if he didn't turn into any of the others, but he tagged him, and then they kept fighting, and he goes like, no, now it's it's he has to hit him 5 times again, and then it powers up. That I think would have been 10 times better to do a massive finisher
Yeah.
than the others. But yeah,
Now, we actually get to see, because this is what I was hoping for when we was talking about the finishes before in the last episode, when we got to see the Shinken mode's finisher with the blade, which we suspected would happen. But I do like this Oren mode
mm,
attack, because couldn't figure out what it was going to do. Um, but I think we both figured that it would just use the gum, didn't we?
yeah. It was very different for him to use the fist, but I like the
Yeah.
fact that he's using it a lot more. Like out of the two modes, I love the O range one because it feels more hand to hand combat than most. So
Yeah.
that to me was, I was like, oh, I like that, I like that.
Yeah.
And then when he just like punish him, I'm like, okay, I can do that. Like I thought it would be some sort of other attack, like a pyramid dropping on him or something.
Yeah, I do like the pyramid sort of appearance that they had in this though. Like they haven't neglected the theme at all. Like they've really done well to represent both Shinkenger and Orenja in both these modes. So
Mm.
yeah, but yeah, there's the fist going boom, punch it through. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it was
I think
very yeah, it was very Egyptian godly. I just wanted to add that. Sorry.
yeah, it's like Obelisk the Tormentor. um, but no, I think the only reason why they did this is, again, like you had last week, you had the Shinken mode, and then
Hmm.
this one you had to have like another one. So I generally think that was the way forward that they wanted to go. So next week will be like maybe his original form of like finishing him off, rather than
Yeah.
just fist or sword.
Hmm.
I bet you at one point when he combines both gears at the same time, a giant sword comes out and uses it and slashes him at the same point.
Yeah, that would be cool. It makes you wonder if he's able to if he'll ever be able to use both gears at the same time, or even if his own gear does something when you turn it over. But then again, that might be for the combination modes. We'll have to
I
wait and see.
I think it'll be to summon them. That's my thing. He'll summon
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which
You're
one?
right. Yeah, you're right. Actually, right. Let's go through all the favorite moments that we've had in this episode before we move on to finally reviewing. So,
Anything with Flint's
seeing,
mind.
yeah, seeing, seeing all of these gems and stuff. I thought it was quite hilarious that this paying for things so over the top. Like Gokaiger was smart. They used their items to gain money for this particular planet. These guys don't have a clue about currency.
I think that's what it is. Like I generally thought, so that's a bubble tea. So let's say it's something like 200 yen. So either the stuff that they gave her was, I don't know, like if you look at all of that there, that at least is probably maybe 5-10 million yen right there. So for selling, like for that girl says, oh, how much money did you make today, honey? Well, I made 10 million yen. Whoa, that was a great day. What did you sell? One bubble tea. And they're like, holy crap.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I do like how we've seen, like a family outing, as you can see in this image here. But obviously they still not leaving out the dancing. That's what I'm so glad about. So they keep that in no matter what, and it's really good. I really did enjoy it. Do you like how he's changing in these episodes?
I think it's more, I don't know, like when you see the first one, it's perfectly fine. And then the second time when he's dancing in the sewer, I generally kind of thought the prop people were like, "Oh, please don't dance, just shoot, just shoot. Oh my god, we can't get the water out of his costume. Dry cleaning." That's literally what I thought. I was like, "Oh, that's great." I quite liked it. I like the way though, where you see Flint, where he started dancing and she's like, "Huzzah!" like that, and walks away. Like it was
Yeah,
kind of like a, oh, do you know, it's like type of people that like hold up the signs at boxing matches. So it's like round one and stuff, and then they walk off. That's what I saw. Or she was
yeah,
like, "I'm presenting my brother, everyone," and I'm like, "God damn it, God damn."
yeah. No, but I do think it's nice to see that they're still keeping it in because it does have a significance to the way he uses his gear, and
Mm.
it is a tambourine. Like it's a big wheel, gun, sword, tambourine.
Yeah, I'm wondering if at some point they are going to turn around and drop it a bit. So like,
Yeah, maybe they will.
yeah,
They
just
probably they always do that in Super Sentai eventually. But now, the base they had like a similar aesthetic to some of the stuff that is seen in the base for the Zenkaigers. But so, what did you think of the interior of the actual Zenkaio crocodile? Well, the crocodile that they seem to fly around in.
I like it. I think it reminds me more of Gokaiger than anything.
Yeah,
What I would have done is rather than have it a green screen, is I would have built a set properly, like what they
yeah,
did with Gokai Galleon, and just say
because
this.
yeah. Sorry, yeah, continue.
I was gonna say, I mean, it looks okay. I think what it is you like you can see the green screen really badly because sometimes with like Flint's hair, it's green around the edges where obviously they've not been able to retrieve it. And I
No, he's
kind of
got very. His hair seems like I tried to edit it out. His hair is very, very difficult
yeah.
to sort of tackle with. It's very what's the phrase to use? Like rebellious.
Oh yeah. Um, I just kind of think that they should like they could have built sets like even if
Yeah,
or even if they had the or they wouldn't have had the Go Galleon one, but they could have I think they could have built a small set type thing
yeah,
and gone through that way. But maybe they wanted to kind of go with the aesthetics of above the sky all the time, so they couldn't really do it.
yeah.
But I just
But
think
they look like they're on an isolated platform though. So I'm like, where the hell do they go to sleep?
isn't there a stairwell or something that they bring up later on that you see in the episode? He
Oh yeah,
walks
you know
down it.
what? I might have missed that. I have to look through it again.
Maybe
um, but yeah, let's move on to the next part. So, this is where we have King Bakawas really throwing a fit, and he's just juggling.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Henshin's gonna love this. This is his favorite thing that he sees.
Barishitaro is just being juggled into the air, just like, oh, did you think this was a hilarious part to it?
I didn't think it's hilarious, but I was like, oh, Bryn's gonna love this. He's gonna
It's
love it.
usually it's, it's usually only the once. That's why I couldn't get over it. It's just
Mm,
like constant. It was so hilarious.
yeah,
But Gegi was really sort of calm in this situation, so it just goes to show that no matter what happens to all the others, he's a favourite. He's not going to get hurt.
yeah. I think he's the mastermind behind it all. I generally think it's. I think
Oh,
there's a he says something. Let me pull it up and then I can read it. It's just something that he says, and it's just the way. I think mainly it's if he was the big bad guy like the wall, I keep calling him the wall, but if
yeah.
he was that one, he would like say something, but he says something to the bird, and then it just made me go, you're not the main bad guy, the bird's the mastermind behind it.
Hmm.
um it's just something like that popped up that I saw. um
Well, while you're looking for that, I'm going to move on to the next image, which shows us Ilgerude, because I think this is a very significant little element to it, because it might hint towards something that Stacey might use, because you do see Stacey standing in the background watching him work. Because
mm,
by the designs, he might be working on some kind of new weapon for him.
it's the swords.
Oh, you think?
I reckon it's going to be the thing because obviously Stacy he gets one later. So I
Oh, I
reckon
didn't know
it's good.
that.
Yeah, it got shown up. I reckon
Spoilers.
it's going to be that. Um, yeah, because if you look at the
The
yeah, so I've
specs and
got
the
it.
designs.
Yeah, so you see a head, you see arms, you see the kind of like the stuff. So weapons as well. So yeah, it's spoiler. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's going to
Don't
be
be sorry. I'm looking forward to it now.
yeah. They showed images and it looked really good. Uh, oh, where is it? What?
Yeah. Okay. So next episode. Sorry. Next episode. Next image.
Next image.
We see like obviously they're changing the it's always constantly noon, so they don't have a concept of time. What did you think about the fact that Sek-chan's battery powered? We find that
I
out in this episode.
I didn't realize that he was battery powered. Like that really kind of threw me because I was like, hang on a minute. If he's battery powered, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I
Um,
mean, he's rechargeable, but the way it's sort of done is that he's not like, the Zenkai technology and stuff like that, where it charges up on its own over time. It's literally like a normal modern day technology in terms of battery. I
mm,
think that's what they're trying to get at with him.
I just kind of think like so. Let's say like, it's always noon, so it means that they must fight monsters early in the morning because if he has to put them on a charge, it wasn't that late. So I'm guessing it was maybe 10 o'clock. So they have to get it all done by a set time, or he just runs out of charge. I was like, cool, thanks
Yeah.
guys, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. The nighttime. Well, sorry, daytime for the pirate folks having breakfast. I thought this was a nice little mellow sort of like moment for them.
Yeah, like I think when I saw Flint's outfit, like I generally kind of thought they're not pajamas. That's like going out shopping it in the morning type thing. Where he comes in like proper silk,
He comes in like
pajama.
Santa, man.
Yeah, he's like, look at my bling as I'm about to go to bed. Like I can see him wearing something like that. Like if you asked me like last week, so Mark, what do you think he wears when he goes to bed? I'd be like, satin silk pajamas, where she's wearing stuff that she would go out on a date for, or at least this is what early morning is. I was like, they're not pajamas.
Yeah,
Like
they
she
do
should be
come from a
wearing
pirate.
flannel.
Yeah, they do come from a pirate world, so maybe this is the like they're in luxurious gear for certain.
Yeah, but if you
But
look at her outfit, it's it's literally that's what I'm going on a date or I'm going for early morning walk,
yeah.
going to the park with my friends.
But this moment right here, where we see the ship and obviously all the suns because of the effect of Noon World, but I not only does it look, it's incredible to actually see the planet on with lights on both sides, but look at like how well you can sort of see the Zenkai crocodile. Like it actually looks quite good in this angle.
Yeah, I bet you that's the toy. Bet
It
you that's the
probably is.
toy. Yeah, it's just very weird to see something like that. I knew exactly that there's four suns. One thing that popped up in my mind, and this is much later on, where it's like, oh, here's the suns. All those suns would just literally burn the planet alive.
Yeah, I
Again,
think it's more to do with
good.
light than heat, but yeah, I get what you mean. But
Yeah, like
yeah.
it, just so much sun.
Okay, next we move on to the image that actually demonstrates the teamwork that the team have and shows more that the Zenkaigers are more about protecting people, whereas the two Kaiser and his pirate clan are more about looking for SD world. So,
Mm.
what did you think of this moment when they all come together to hold up the rock?
I generally thought you guys are cheerleaders in your own episode. I can see them going for like to help people, but then I generally kind of thought, why aren't the people escaping or trying to move away? It just felt like, oh my god, you the Zenkaijas. Oh my god, I so love you. And it's like, come on, you could easily just like move away. So, like, and also when they throw the like over the side, I generally thought, oh, I wonder how heavy that foam is.
Yeah.
That
Um,
polystyrene must be heavy.
Obviously the bad guy gets defeated, and we see image of like the gear being tread on by the creature. Now this was a really good image for me because you could see the whole team.
Mm.
The dark night's finally setting after defeating him the first time. Like this perfect imagery that they have going on here is quite beautiful. Did you clock
Yeah.
that?
I quite like. I've got to wait for the image to load to see which one you're talking about.
Right, sorry, yeah.
Um, oh, where is it? One thing I will say until I see it. Did you laugh at the point where the guy was the monster was in the wall and his legs were moving
Oh
about?
yeah,
I laughed at that because I was like, I love that sort of stuff. Like you could have just left him there.
yeah,
Yeah, like so. Yeah, I can see the image now. So yeah, like you can see everyone, and then obviously you can see the feet, and I kind of like that because obviously it's like I'm guessing what they would have done is they would have got the guy on the green screen and obviously made it bigger, so it looked quite impressive
yeah.
for exactly like how big
Oh, sorry,
Zenkaiger
I'm
is
moving the images.
is bigger than his toe.
Yeah.
Zooms up to the toe.
Right, obviously, there's not really anything different in this, but obviously the Megazord fight had a little bit different. Sorry, the Zenkaio fight had a little bit of a difference, which is the sunglasses and Kaito being asleep. So,
Yeah,
what did you think of this, of the imagery of the sunglasses and the techniques involved with Magi? Because obviously she was really ticked off from not being able to
yeah.
sleep.
I loved it when Majin like went crazy. Like it was just literally like ah. I was like, that's my girl right there.
Yeah. I liked how Rune had to say it was solar viewing glasses as well. Like
Yeah,
he's always very precise.
I know. Like I hope that they bring out the like. I would love it if they brought an accessory pack out for all the toys because I would kind of really like Majin solar viewing glasses so I can put on my Zords. I loved it. I think it was the best way of going around it. And I also love the fact that they gave a warning of like, don't look directly into the sun with your sunglasses. I was like,
Yeah.
thank you for that, guys. Thank you
Yeah.
for giving me a warning that I've known since birth.
I like the fact that last part of this particular episode that's worth talking about really is just how humorous it was when Rune and Majin were calling out to Kaito to finish it, but he's just conked out asleep.
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny, like just the image at the very beginning, and obviously it switches to this one where Kaito's got his face on the dash, and they're like, "Kaito, wake up!"
Yeah, I liked it. Like it. I feel like they've set this up for like some sort of meme where you can put text and it's like "Don't sleep on the job" type thing. But
Yeah.
it's such a very weird camera angle. Like I don't know what they were going for. I love it. I think it's great. But it just feels like Kaito's playing hide and seek with everyone. Like, come and find me.
It does kind of show how tired he is, even though when he does his finisher, that was still good.
Yeah,
They kept it going, which I really love. But
I
yeah,
loved it.
yeah, it was great moments in this episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's finish this off. So, where would we rate this particular episode?
I would kind of just give it. I'm gonna give it a 4. Like again, I've not seen an episode to me that makes it stand out to be like a 5 just yet. I think it's
Yeah, we have had a episode that was rated as a 5.
oh, okay. So yeah, this is a
So
4.
yeah, this is. I would say it's definitely a 4. I would say more of a 3, but because of the
Mm,
story elements involved into it, it kind of notches it up a once.
yeah,
But yeah, but yeah, it does feel like a 3 for me due to the combat essence. If it was all about the combat, it would be a 3. Stories it rises up to a 4. So yeah, I
yeah.
agree with you there. But yeah, overall great episode, and
Mm,
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do for the next one, because it might surprise us, because I'm thinking it might be quite a mellowed or toned down one, just like an episode filler. But I suppose we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? It
I
definitely seems more like you said, more to do with Flint.
yeah, I feel like for when you look at it, it's like I don't know. It's weird because when Kaito's on the like, I can imagine like if she's biting a lip through frustration, but it's just the way
Yeah.
that she's looking in, biting a lip, and like it looks like she's interested. And then the next one, it's like where it's not two Kaiser, it's she's with him and she's got the gears. So maybe it's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get close to him so I can steal his stuff. But then it's more kind of you see the demon things. So I reckon they've all got them, bar him and her, and they all go after and start chasing because they're evil. And then
Yeah.
it's like boom straight away. So I'm hoping I want a Flint episode. I want a Flint episode so badly.
Okay, well, yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. So, yeah, hopefully the next episode won't just be a little filler, and we'll get to find more about all of these characters as we go along. But yeah, for now, where can we find you on social media, Marilyn?
You can find me on the old YouTube as Airlim, as well as Instagram and on Twitter. You can find me as Mainstream Live.
Awesome.
Where can people find you, good gentlemen?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Henshin Asset. So yeah, I post as often as I can, but if it's worth posting, I'll put it on there. But yeah, I definitely couldn't recommend enough to watch Airlim on YouTube, because
Oh,
all of his content, especially about the Power Ranger stuff. Even Joe has said, definitely worth giving a watch, because it is good stuff and
make
very
me
quite accurate.
right. You make me Zenkai blush.
All right, well, thank you till next time, my dudes. All right.
Right.
Thank you, Elam. See you.
Bye.